18th, but she needs an attorney. She needs an attorney. She has till January 4th to get a new attorney. Let's bring in our think tank. Who wants the case? Anyone want the case?
Depends how much you're paying.
Palm Beach, Florida is beautiful. Be nice and warm. Spend a couple months down there. Brian Watkins, what's your reaction to what just happened here? Do you think she'll be able to get an attorney and get up to speed and be ready to go March 18th?
You know, I can't stand when judges do things like that. Yeah. You know, they act like they've never practiced law in their life. Okay, first of all, what do you want me to do? Drop every case and just focus on this night and day to get up to speed? And all I'm going to do is this case because you have this random deadline in your head that the case needs to happen within 60 days? I mean, it's setting the court up for an appeal. Some lawyer's going to jump in there for the publicity, not be prepared, do a terrible job. She's going to go down. It's going to come back on appeal. And you're going to have to do the trial all over again just because this judge made this arbitrary 60-day deadline. You can't review the case, come up with a theory, and be good in trial in 60 days, even if you did drop everything. And it's insulting to ask a lawyer to drop everything and study only on this case.
All right, how about Villalona Law? Jumping in?
I agree, Brian. I agree with Brian, Vinnie. It is a lot to ask for because you got to think when you're on trial, it's not like you're not running a firm. You don't have other cases that are also happening with people that are in custody. So literally, to be prepared in 3 months, I need to stop and take away my attention from everything else and just focus on this one case. And in addition to the discovery and the 21,000 pieces of video, remember that the husband has already been tried. So you want to also review all of those transcripts and review that trial and look it up on courttv.com and watch it yourself as well. So you're talking about additional pieces of evidence that you need to review to be prepared for trial. But can you be ready? Absolutely you can, but you need to drop everything in order to be ready.
You need to drop everything.
Brian said, yeah, and like Brian said, you're preparing yourself for an appeal. If this case does reach a verdict where she's found guilty, that you receive so much pressure by the judge to try this case that you weren't ready for.
And Philip Dubé, part of the issue here, I think, might be like, if you want an attorney to drop everything, you've got to pay that attorney to drop everything. She claims she was indigent, but that didn't go through, so there might be some financial limitations here. What are your thoughts about how this whole thing is developing?
No, I don't think this is money-based. I mean, she obviously had a negotiated retainer agreement with this guy. He was properly retained. He withdrew because he's telling the court he cannot be effective within the meaning of the Sixth Amendment in his representation if he is hastening his readiness to within 60 days. He's telling the court, I cannot be ready. I'm letting you know now, I cannot be ready. This judge is out of touch with the practical realities of today's criminal litigation. The days of getting like a little binder with documents is over, okay? What you get today is a couple of terabytes. And you've got to sit down and look at all this footage, watch it all carefully, maybe even get it transcribed, because the failure to look at every image on those flash drives or on those disks or in whatever format they're giving it to you could constitute ineffective assistance of counsel if you missed something that could blow the case wide open. I don't know. And I think it's unfair for this court to try to impute the performance of Ms. Murda, who represented Tim Ferriter, to this new counsel to suggest, well, they did it, they're ready, so therefore you're ready as I so rule. And I think it's unfair to deem counsel ready when they're telling you they can't be ready. And by the way, this happens even in the public defender world. We get situations where court dockets get jammed up. Judges' performance is not measured by how many trials they do or how many guilty verdicts they get. It's how quickly they move the cases, how quickly they move the meat. And when you have this pesky public defender not moving his cases along, you catch the ire of the court. And the last thing anybody needs is to be deemed ready when you're not ready because it hurts the client.
Yeah, I think all of you would have loved practicing law in front of my father. He understood. But he also got everyone to like settle their cases, whether it was civil or criminal. Like he was the master of pulling those strings. Anyway, fasten your seatbelts. Up next.